We're going to be going into this book today a little bit called Dark Mission by Richard C. Hoagland and Mike Barra. It's the secret history of NASA, okay? And this cover is actually quite appropriate. It may seem silly to you, but Neil Armstrong did actually bring the Supreme Council Freemason flag to the moon, okay? It's kind of weird that they would do that. My belief is that they did go to the moon. However, the way in which it was orchestrated was actually a Masonic ritual, of course. So the alignments matter, the time matter, um, everything mattered basically. So over the Apollo 11 landing site, 19.5 degrees below the horizon is the star Regulus, and let's see. And I believe 19.5 degrees above is Sirius as well, the star Sirius. Their belief is that there was two different ceremonies, one secret Masonic ceremony 33 minutes after landing, and one public ceremony 3 hours and 41 minutes after that. Okay. And at the 33-minute window, Sirius, which they see as Isis, was 19.5 degrees above the landing site. And at the latter occurrence, Regulus, which is Horus in their minds, was at 19.5 degrees below the horizon, as we just saw. So it fits the model perfectly. And Buzz Aldrin did take the Scottish Rite 33 degrees apron with him to the moon. Such garments serve only one purpose, to be worn during a solemn Masonic ceremony. It seems unlikely that a dedicated servant of the craft would take the apron 239,000 miles to the moon unless he's going to use it for a ceremonial purpose. Okay, I totally agree with this stuff. Okay, in the book The Hiram Key, concluded that the ritual of the 33-degree Mason was a reenactment of Abiff's murder for refusing to reveal the high secret of the craft, and that this same ritual was in fact derived from the ancient pharaoh rituals that paid homage to Isis and Osiris. And some say Jesus was an initiate of the Masonic order, but that's all hearsay. I mean, Jesus was God. He is beyond secret societies. He's the reason secret societies exist because he's the Lord and Creator, hiding his patterns. Um, the timing of the ceremony, 33 minutes after landing, when Sirius was 19.5 degrees above the landing site, might have something to do with the tradition of the 33-degree Scottish Rite. It's considered the highest level of enlightenment the Freemason can achieve, and coupled with the tetrahedral 19.5 altitude of Sirius above the Tranquility Base, suggests there's some significant connection between these holy numbers. Um, and Aldrin himself, when he posed for the Apollo 11 portrait, he made sure that his Masonic signet ring was prominently visible. And he chose to wear his Mason ring rather than his wedding ring, okay? All right, and of course, Disney was a 33-degree Mason, so yeah, it's all brainwashing propaganda. They made like a little film called Man in Space in December 1957 with Werner von Braun, I believe. Yeah, von Braun, one of the Nazis who worked with Hitler, was now a scientist for NASA and worked with Disney. You know, we got Nazis and Freemasons and all this stuff and the moon landings. It all ties together. Um, it's like a space propaganda film. Sorry about the quality on that. There we go. And then they say there's a high radiation reading at 33 degrees, and then nothing else happens. Like it's really weird that they say that. It's probably definitely a sign. Von Braun and Disney obviously intended to portray the moon as previously inhabited and simultaneously pay homage to the Masonic 33 degrees. Isn't that cool? I find it very interesting. Took on the German accent on accident there. Okay, let's see. Freemasonry holds the most ancient gods of Egypt, Isis, Osiris, Horus, and Set, and their complicated incestuous relationships, as being the cornerstone of a cosmology and religion older than civilization itself, of which they see themselves and it's now playing out their major crucial roles. The same is true of the SS. In the occult roots of Nazism, this guy shows that the early Aryan cults trace their lineage back to the Teutonic Knights, a German offshoot of the Knights Templar, like the first secret societies after Egypt, and then traced back to ancient Egypt as well. It's very interesting. Okay, we saw the 1945 degrees again. Let's see. And it's considered that July 2069 was like a perfect ritual date. Um, Also, because there was like 5 planets all conjuncting in one spot. It was a huge, huge year. And of course, you had Woodstock around the same time anyway. So a lot of archetypes were combining at these times. Um, okay. They even say the Pathfinder ship was shaped like a tetrahedron, which is interesting. And the launch of the Pathfinder probe, they say Mars was rising at 19.5 degrees when the Pathfinder spacecraft was launched towards the red planet, and Earth was hovering at 19.5 degrees above the landing site on Mars. It's all intentional. That's their two key hyperdimensional numbers underlying all these NASA rituals, 19.5 and 33 degrees. And one thing about 19.5 degrees, if you put a sphere, and then you put a tetrahedron inside, a pyramid, the corners touch at 19.5 degrees. I don't know why that says 19.47. Imagine this is the best quality image I could find. They're really hiding this stuff. Anyway, the sun's sunspots are 19.5 degrees above or below the equator. Mars's volcanoes, Earth's Hawaii volcanoes are at 19.5 degrees below the equator. We have Neptune's storm, Jupiter's storm, also at 19.5 degrees above or below the equator. I mean, it's everywhere in spherical bodies. So that's why one reason, of course, of many that they implement that number. Let's see. Oops. Okay. It's basically constituted a ritual position. That's one of their early logos. It's kind of has some different stuff in it. It's an A for Apollo, but of course upside down it's a V for the fifth age. Some other stuff. This is the Apollo 12 landing site sky pattern at touchdown, November 19th, 1969, and Orion's belt stands 19.5 degrees above the western lunar horizon. Cool. There's the horizon right there. 19.5 degrees is Orion, like the main archetype star that they worship. And there they go. Buzz Aldrin showing off his Mason ring to tell all the secret societies, I'm going to do that ritual up there for you guys. Represent, know what I'm saying? It's not a joke, but it kind of is. Like, the joke's on us. And there he is again with his Mason ring. And there's him, the Sovereign Grand Commander, Luther A. Smith, and a Masonic flag he took to him to the moon. They took that to the moon, y'all. It's insane. All right, here's some more Freemasons and Nazis tied to NASA. And don't get me wrong, my grandfather did work for NASA as well, and his name is Gerald Epstein. He passed away in 2009. However, he worked on the Apollo 12 mission, but he's a Jew, so definitely not a Nazi. And to my knowledge, he was not a Freemason either. So there's normal people in NASA, but I'm saying these people, the top heads, just happen to have some weird associations. All these astronauts are Freemasons, y'all, and all these designers and leaders are ex-Nazis that we took from World War II after we won, or other Freemasons. No biggie. All right, the reason for that symbology is the ancient Egyptian iconography links down with ancient geodetic markers called amphalos stones, and the doves were actually homing pigeons used to create survey maps in ancient Egypt, eventually linking doves and navigation, as in the tale of Noah's Ark. So that's why that flag is like that. It's similar to this that ancient Egyptian thing. Okay, there's more images for you for proof. Armstrong says there are unimaginable wonders out there for those who can remove some of truth's protective layers. And of course, a Shakespeare, aka Francis Bacon quote: "First thing we do is kill all the lawyers." Just kind of showing it's corrupt at the high places. Let's see. Looking other mind-blowing stuff. Oh yeah, they did find a UFO, a mystery UFO, um, that they took pictures of, but we don't have pictures of it anymore. Aldrin stated he feared we would be ordered home before the landing if they told him about the UFO, so they said they agreed to say nothing more until the debriefing upon return to Earth. They didn't say if a debriefing actually took place, so that means it did. Okay. All right. Now the Apollo 17 landing was as close to NASA's magic latitude of 19.5 degrees as astronauts could get once again. 19.5 degrees above the equator, I believe, for that Apollo. Anyway, y'all, that's a lot of images and facts and Freemason stuff for you to, you know, consider. Um, I do believe the moon landings happened. I don't believe Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landings, but that's just ridiculous. Kubrick hid movies in his films, but he did not fake the moon landings. Anyway, that's that. Y'all should get the book. There's also another one specifically about Mars called The Monuments of Mars, which of course talks about the face and all that stuff, the Cydonia complex. But anyway, that's Richard C. Hoagland, Dark Mission. Get it at Barnes & Noble, y'all. Take it easy.